Hello, good day everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I'm going to present my paper written with the other colleagues of mine entitled Rethinking Interior Design Approach for Shop House for Food and Beverage Retailers to Embrace New Normal Protocols. In this paper, we need to understand first why is it so important. I believe that as a designer, it is very delightful for us to design beautiful places with the forms to create Instagram-worthy places, especially for the hit or the in places that make use also as a actualizing spot for the community. And that is also what happened in Indonesia, especially because cafes and restaurant become such a boom, and everybody almost everywhere create cafes and restaurant that is an Instagram worthy spot to post. And what happened is that the most public spaces tends to be designed in enclosed and well-controlled spaces to ensure occupants' comfort, because Surabaya is, I believe, almost the same with Malaysia. It's quite humid and hot, so that a well-controlled, well aircon place is favorable. But what happened with the outbreak of COVID-19 is that people tends to ignore such place and looking for an open places nowadays, because they quite understand and become aware of indoor environment quality and healthy indoors. So it's good that we are survived, but the problem is that as a survivor, we should not take this situation for granted, because the ease of restriction that will happen in the near future, we as a designer need to have a good framework and understanding on how should we adapt the situation and deliver a healthier and better interior for our community. So what we can do? Maybe we can also try to look at the green building assessment system that available in our countries. I believe that almost every country have their own green building assessment tools that I believe to also provide and give a good chance of point for a better indoor environment quality performance. And as this is happen and the subject is in Indonesia, I will make use of Greenship as the green building assessment tools to be covered in this paper. For the Greenship interior space certification itself, it is consisted of 93 points total with 6 categories. And among those 6 categories, one of them is the indoor health and comfort, or the I8C category, that has the highest percentage in the rating tools, because indoor health and comfort simply play an important role in the occupants' whole health and comfort that is being looking for by our customer nowadays. So what are we going to discuss today is the current state of the design adaptation that is still open for reviews and suggestion given by the professional, in these terms by the interior designers and health conscious parties. And the problem is there is an exist Greenship interior space certification, of course, but whether it is applied. As we all know, each of the certification system and assessment, they will also have checklists and also points to let us know as a designer or as assessor or as also the end user on what's supposed to be there and what is considered important. And that will be such a tool to help us to develop our design. But whether it is applied or not, that is another question to ask. For this research, I will do the examination of green building standard and interior adaptation for new normal, especially for shop houses, by which shop houses may not necessarily able to introduce cross ventilation needed at the moment. So it is important for our team to see whether our students in the studios of styling, interior design and styling for commercial spaces will understand and implement this in their design, as well as the tutor as their professional supervisor. The research methodology I will make use for this research is basically a qualitative approach by using a systematic literature review and comparative study. The SLR will be used to define the research problem and getting the corresponding resources in this literature, and the comparative study is conducted to gain the insight on how the on-site application of a research question. To understand this, I will break down the design process make used by the students into 5 steps of design thinking that is applied by them. In this paper, I will discuss the result and the result obtained in each stage of design thinking. By understanding this, so that we will understand and we will see the literature review that I use for this paper consists of 3 major roles. As the first one is the mitigation rules applied by the students, because it is a decree related by the health minister. And then the indoor environment quality adaptation, and the greenship indoor space requirement and analysis itself. For the indoor health and comfort criteria and adaptation, I will make use of the paper, the one that is developed by the Kusuma Wardani by the previous paper, consists of 11 criterion with 1 prerequisite. For the research effort or is conducted in the studio, the Huntsman Cafe is still under renovation, so there's no comparison on the existing situation with their design proposed by the students. So this is the shop house site. The Huntsman Cafe will make use of 2 units of shop houses, as you can see here, 1 and 2, and they will only make use of the first floor. So for the empathize stage, the students do the literature review, typology studies, and field site data collection, and to be analyzed and synthesized in the define stage. And then they will go for the ideation stage to develop their design ideas by making sure what they have in the other 2 stages is incorporated as well. For the prototype, they will do the experimental phase to aim for the best solution for the Huntsman Cafe. And this prototype will be delivered in the test stage to be presented with the tutor, professional tutor, and the owner of the Huntsman Cafe. After scrutinizing of their test, their prototype and their test as the final product for their design, this is the summary of their application of the indoor health and comfort criteria. As we can see here, the first prerequisite, the no smoking campaign, is not available, sadly. And by this not available, we should not proceed for the another 11 criteria, but for the sake of this research, I will go through the other 11 steps, the other 11 criteria to see what is in there and not there in their design. So as we see here, we have the outdoor introduction available by providing outdoor dining area with a simple plan selection in their design, and the operable window to present, but with very minimum amount in it. The second one is the CO2 monitoring and the chemical pollution that the IC5, the biological pollutants also not available, and visual comfort, outside view and daylight is available greatly in their design. Students tends to provide artificial lamp, given a very good effort to design their visual look, not only to develop the forms, but also to develop the branding, to also develop the lighting to promote a good visual comfort. And the outside view and daylight is also provided by the openings and the access to the view and harnessing the natural daylight with consideration to the building orientation. The IHC 8 and 9 also not available in their design. There are the thermal comfort. They may not have enough study to actually justify whether their thermal is comfortable. So this will be considered as not available. And the acoustic level, also they have consideration only to the application of sound system, but as a background noise, but there's no certain quantitative assessment to justify whether the acoustic level is proficient. The ISE 10, the interior plans is available. Most of the students apply the artificial plans for indoor plans for the relaxing purpose, considering the owner's request, but there's no selection with enough consideration why they choose certain plans to be promoted in their interior. For the criteria 11, the pest management is not available, so no pest management documented in the design document. So overall, students only apply 5 out of 11 indoor health and comfort criterion addressed in the greenship. So this is the chart to give you the flavor that among those 5, there are 2 most prominent criteria that the students put a very great effort to. Those are the indoor pollutant source, and the outside view and daylighting. The next will be the indoor plants, and then the other last 2 is the outdoor air introduction and the visual comfort. These 2, the indoor pollutant source control and outside view and daylight, were possible only due to the site position and architectural design that enables the hovergang to be designed on the site. So the conclusion is, yes, the COVID-19 may have a bright side that actually as a wake-up call for all of us to actually understand and be aware of that the healthy indoor is not a luxury, but a considerably normal approach to ensure the building occupants can work optimally. And I believe that each country will have a checklist provided by their greenship green assessment tools that provide a listing of indoor health and comfort aspects so that it can be served as a checklist for the designer to start their healthier indoor interior design. However, the design approach of the indoor health and comfort may not be well aware by the designer, student designer, and the tutor. So there's still a lot of room to improve, and there's still a lot of room for the greenship to actually promote that they also can serve as a checklist to help the designer too. And some indoor health and comfort criteria that still have the attention are the outdoor air introduction, indoor pollutant source control, outside view and daylight introduction, and interior plans. This was generally due to the site limitation because from the owners and the limited awareness from the designer as well. So the site is possible or not, the owners that will open for this checklist to be implemented, and most of all, the awareness of the designer play a major role of how the public healthier public space will be delivered to the community. So this is all for my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention.